Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with what we're tracking out for the next couple of days. Well, we had a very soggy start to the work week, especially for today. We've had on and off showers and some drizzle throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Now, since that's all moved off to our east, we should be gradually drying out here through the overnight hours and then also cooling down into the upper 50s. And then that'll lead us into a mainly dry Thursday. That frontal boundary that was kind of stalled over the area today, that continues to sag southward. So it will be south of the tri-state tomorrow. Can't completely rule out a stray shower or an isolated thunderstorm, but mostly will stay dry across the board. And then it gets more unsettled as we head towards the end of the work week and into all of next week. It looks like we'll have daily chances for showers and storms through Memorial Day weekend and at least through Wednesday of next week. So I'll break down all those details here in just a moment. But let's start off with a look at what's going on out there across the country. Here's that frontal boundary that I was just talking about that was crossing over the tri-state yesterday and today. It is now continuing to sag southward there, and it's going to stall out there through tomorrow and into Friday. But by Friday, it will lift back northward as a warm front. So that's what's going to kickstart this next parade of showers and storms through next week. But in the meantime, we can enjoy this brief little moment of some drier weather. Now, talking about all the rain that we've had, taking a look at our rainfall reports. Now, this is rainfall estimated, but we've picked up anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of rain over the last 72 hours. So this has all been very beneficial rainfall. We've been very dry here through much of the year so far. Winter, even though we saw a lot of snow from that one storm, it didn't really give us a whole much more outside of that one storm. And then this spring has been fairly dry as well. And up until this point, this is the most rainfall we've had over a 3-day period in quite some time. So this is definitely going to help us out in terms of that drought situation. Taking a look at our stats, our 24-hour rainfall, so just in the last day, we've picked up a little bit over an inch. And precipitation for the month of May so far, we were in a pretty good deficit. But with all this rain we've had over the last 3 days, we've caught ourselves up almost. So we're sitting at around 1/3 of an inch below where we should be for the month of May. But with all this rain expected here through the next week or so, I'm sure we'll be able to close that gap pretty efficiently. But for the year, we're still lagging behind by around 5.5 inches. We've only picked up around 14.25 inches of rain so far this year, and our temperatures were actually running quite below average through the start of the month. But with all the temperatures in the 80s that we've had over the last week, that has also helped catch us back up to closer to normal. We're still running just shy of 2 degrees below where we should be, sitting at around 63.4 for our average temperature. So we'll likely see a couple of cooler days here through Friday before we actually start to warm back up. Headed into next week, we should top back out in the lower 80s. It looks like my space bar wants to freeze up on me, so let me go ahead and try this again. We'll just do this manually. But here's a look at the radar currently. So we were talking about the rain that we had on and off throughout the day today. Now that is all mostly pushed off to our east. We have a few straggling showers over Muhlenberg and Ohio County with a little bit of a heavier rain pushing through areas like Bowling Green, but at large, the tri-state is now dry. It's cloudy out there, and we'll hold on to the clouds overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And with that frontal boundary again staying stationed just off to our south, can't be surprised if we still catch a stray shower overnight, especially over western Kentucky and into tomorrow morning, but most of us will be very dry, at least through Thursday. But for tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures drop down into the upper 50s to right around 60 in some spots, and then tomorrow we'll warm back up only into the lower 70s, which is below average for this time of year. Our average high sits around 78 degrees, but we'll stay mostly cloudy and mostly dry. So if you plan on mowing the lawn anytime soon, today's already over, and it wasn't a good day to do it anyway, but tomorrow I would say would be your next best chance. It'll be fair because the grounds are going to be wet, so you will have to contend with some wet grass, but Friday, I think, will be worse because we'll actually have more rain actively falling and pushing back into the tri-state. Saturday, at this point in time, maybe hit or miss. We have that chance for showers and storms on Saturday, but depending on the timing of these systems, for Friday, we may see some of that linger through into Saturday morning. It may dry out completely by Saturday afternoon, or we may just hold on to that chance for a spot shower throughout the day. So Saturday, still a little bit up in the air, but as of right now, it looks like the better day of the entire Memorial Day weekend to actually get out and do some things, whether that's mowing the grass or breaking out the grill. So I'll talk about those details in a moment. But here's a look at the future radar through tomorrow. So waking up Thursday morning, a few spot showers possible over western Kentucky, but most of us stay dry, especially through Thursday afternoon. We'll hold on to the cloud cover, so it will be a fairly gloomy day, and then we'll start to see rain chances pick back up overnight and into early Friday morning, and that'll be more widespread throughout the day on Friday. So that's what's headed our way. And then looking beyond just Friday, we will have that chance again through Saturday and Sunday, a little bit more in the isolated territory, and then getting into next week, we'll have that recurring chance of showers and storms as that frontal boundary just kind of remains stalled over the Ohio River Valley. So that's just going to deliver that chance each and every day up until we get that frontal boundary to actually move. So we have that storm system moving in on Friday. That's going to be associated with this area of low pressure that's going to be passing off to our northeast. Now, depending on how quick this low moves, we may actually dry out by Saturday afternoon, maybe still seeing a passing shower in some locations, but most of us should stay dry. And then another stationary front kind of sets up through Sunday, and that'll keep those spotty shower chances going through Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday of next week. So a lot of rain in the forecast. Unfortunately, it has to coincide with a holiday weekend where everybody wants to be outside. But it doesn't look like a complete washout through Saturday, Sunday, or on Monday. I think the day that looks to be more of a washout would be on Friday. So keep that in mind. But rainfall forecast over the next 5 days, all the rain we've had so far and the rain we're expected to get is going to be mostly beneficial. So we have an additional, possibly an inch up to 2.5 inches in some spots over the next 5 days. And the heaviest rains this time look like they're going to be lining up across portions of western Kentucky, which is where they're seeing the worst of the drought so far. So here's a look at that drought monitor. Now, this was updated last Thursday. This will get updated again tomorrow. However, the drought monitor does not include anything that we get beyond Tuesday. So this is only going to include the rain we got over the weekend and into Monday, which we did see some heavy showers and thunderstorms, so we might not see as much as a relief as you would think because of all the rain we've had, but that's just because of the cutoff that the drought monitor runs its rainfall amounts through. So heaviest rains are expected over western Kentucky over the next 5 days, and that's good because that's where the worst of the drought is, sitting anywhere between a moderate to extreme drought, especially over Hopkins, Muhlenberg, and Ohio County. Now, we are tracking out the chance for maybe a localized area of flooding, especially on Friday. But again, with it being so dry, the ground is nice and moist as well, but it's not waterlogged just yet. So I think most of the rain that we get will actually be able to, soak into the ground and do good for us. But there could be the chance that if we get a heavier downpour embedded in the rain, or even a thunderstorm, that you see some localized areas of flooding. Areas that typically flood during thunderstorms, like poor drainage areas, areas under underpasses or overpasses, things like that. But I think it should be fairly temporary, nothing that lasts long term. So that is all good news there. But here's a look at the 7-day forecast, and unfortunately it is a pretty gloomy one. So I'll take that full screen so you can get a better look at it. Temperatures stay below average through Friday, and then we'll start to pop back up into the lower 80s there through the weekend and into next week. So we will start to get a little bit warmer again. It'll probably get a little bit muggier, and then by the middle of next week, we should be topping back out closer to the to the mid 80s. But let me see some of the comments here if I can answer any questions for you. Suzanne said it rained most of the day. Yes, it did. Cheyenne says, good evening. Hello, Ricky Brown. He's getting tired of the rain. I'm sure most of us are, but unfortunately, we've got a lot more on the way. Now, I know it says it's going to rain every day, but that does not mean everybody's going to be getting poured on every second of every day. It's not going to be like today, but I think Friday will definitely be a wetter, widespread rain kind of day. I think the rest of these rain chances we see are going to be more in the form of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, so not as widespread and gloomy as it was today or what we're expecting on Friday. Laura Gray is watching from Dawson Springs. Thank you for joining us. William with a great rainfall report. He got 1.46 inches today. So a nice almost 2.5 inches since Wednesday, or maybe Monday, or maybe you're talking about, just this week in total. So either way, lots of rainfall, lots of beneficial rain for us. Jeanette Rice says good evening to you as well. So that's all the questions and comments that I'm seeing right now. So I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe, stay dry, and have a great rest of your night.